Danny, I think, did it cut out just at the end of the last? So if we start with agenda item 3. Agenda item 3, the business plans report. And Jonathan, then if you could just go through that again. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Members, the report before you tonight is in relation to our 6 monthly progress reports in relation to the business plans for health and recreation and community development. Members will note within the detail of the report in terms of the performance around each of the key actions. And also, members, there's also some key updates in relation to some of the outcomes and achievements within the first 6 months of the delivery of the business plans. Myself and Seamus are here to take any questions, Chair, so happy to take any questions from members.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I have a few hands up. Councillor Tinsley first.
Thank you, Chair, and I have a few questions. Okay, thank you. Just let me get on here. First of all, if someone could clarify for me where we are with recruitment. Last month, I raised about a freeze on recruitment, and Niamh said to me, there is no freeze on recruitment. Right? So then we came to another committee last week, and I asked for, is there a pause on recruitment, because there's a number of jobs that had been advertised and people were waiting, and Niamh fed back to me that yes, there has been a delay in getting back to people interviewed. So that's fair enough, we're chasing that up. We're still advertising jobs on the portal, but I'm reading here that the reason that we have red indicators is because there is a corporate hold on recruitment. Now, when I Google freeze actually tells me that it is an act of holding. So I am totally, Chair, and utterly confused as to what our stance is on recruitment. So that's one question that I have, and I seriously want an answer to that as to, is it certain jobs is on hold? Is it certain departments is on hold? What is the issue? Because we can't have red indicators here for one department that is saying they can't meet it because they're on hold, and other departments where we are putting through jobs. So that's one question, Chair. Another question that I have also is in regards to the staff restructure. Now, I see that we have red. Now, red means that we have missed the target. Now, my understanding is that the target is March 2023. Is this preparing us that that department is going to miss the staff restructure? Now, I know it's saying quarter 1, 2 and 3 has missed the target, but I don't know how. Is that an internal target that they had to meet the overall target? Are we still on target with that? If this all makes sense, Madam Chair, that we are going to meet that in March 2023, because we have been reassured that that is going to be the case. I read this indicator now and I am not so sure and not so confident. Okay, so that's another question that I think needs seriously addressing. The others is not as much as a question as it is. And can I just say that there's been excellent work done on this as well. So, I mean, I need to put that on record as well. But one of them that I wanted to ask about is the crisis support service. And obviously, as councillors, we're being asked more and more and more. Where is that going to? How can I get directed to that, Seamus? And I am aware that we are going via the food banks and St Vincent de Paul. Am I correct in that, first of all? And the other thing is there other outlets that we can forward when people contact us with regards to what's council doing? And I think that I have another few questions, but I think if I get those answered, Chair, I'll be doing well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tinsley. Seamus, will you come in that for us, please?
Thank you, Chair. Just in relation to some of the items that are being discussed, there's recruitment ongoing, so I'd maybe move that to confidential business in relation to some of the questions that affect recruitment. Also noting that there is an update report in terms of the crisis support, and that's further on the agenda also.
Do you want back in, Councillor Tinsley?
Chair, I actually omitted when I was looking at these indicators, and it's a question I meant to ask because it's quite an important question. It's something I have been going on about for many, many years. And that is, when I look at these indicators and how we're performing, I have asked for many, many occasions with regards to not only recruitment, but absence. I actually found this in my file today, and it's dated from 2016. And I've been asking for this to come to committee, a report on the work profile for each committee in regards to absenteeism, like a general governance. And if we're doing this indicator, I cannot understand, Chair, why we can't include the likes of our governance figures in terms of absenteeism, recruitment, and so forth. And I would ask that again, that we revisit this again for each committee, for each department to understand. I'm not asking for a comment tonight. I'm just asking for that to be re-looked at and to be included going forward on the indicators. Thank you.
And thank you for that, Councillor Tinsley. And that's noted. So we'll follow up on that. And no doubt you will too. Thank you. And no further hands up. So we're happy to note. So moving on now to our first item for decision tonight. Item 4.1, our change in places policy, and Gillian Jewett is going to lead us through that tonight.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. Item 4.1, change in places policy. The policy has now been drafted and it's recommended that members approve that it goes forward now for public consultation. Thank you.
Thank you, Gillian. And I would like to propose this policy. I know if Councillor Flaherty had been here tonight, she would have had her light on pretty quickly with this agenda item coming up, but I would like to officially propose this. Thank you. Councillor McNeil, your light was on.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to second that proposal. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor McNeil. Thank you. And Councillor Tinsley.
Chair, it's just to voice our support for that as well, just going forward. I know it's been proposed and seconded, but just to put our on record as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tinsley. And it seems we are all, Councillor Hockin online.
Thank you, Chair. And just to say fully supported as well, I want to say thank you to the officers, but I just wanted to put on record and I want it to be noted. Councillor Flaherty, I know she's not here tonight, but I mean, every opportunity she has raised this, she has pushed this, she has worked her backside off to try and get it to where it's at. And I think everybody would agree that she deserves our respect and our thanks for pushing it as hard as what she has on this. So it's just to put that on record.
Thanks for that, Councillor Hockin, and I'm sure our colleagues here will let her know, that we have been mentioning her tonight. So yes, I concur with that. But seems to be no objections here. So happy enough. Thank you. Agreed. Thank you. So now we're going to have a block of information items, agenda items 4.2 up to item 4.5. You all have the details in your notes, and officers are here for any questions. Councillor Tinsley.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And Chair, I was reading through the Sports Forum and the fantastic work that they're actually doing, but there's a lot of things in there that I'm going to be truthful, I'd never heard a tell of. And I'm just very curious to know where they actually advertise those things? I mean, you're going to tell me, oh, you get it every week or something, and I've missed it. But I would be very interested to see where those are actually advertised. Do we have a channel within council that also advertise that? Because there's a number of things in there, and I would be very keen to have shared. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. And I suppose the best person to answer this would be Gillian. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Tinsley, for the question. A lot of the things at the start there, it referenced the sports development e-zine. So this is an e-zine that we send out to all the affiliated sports clubs that are affiliated to the Sports Forum, but it's also available on the council website under the Sports Forum section. So the e-zines are available to everybody. You don't have to be affiliated to be able to see all of the information that we share. Thank you.
Thank you, Gillian. Councillor Tinsley, do you want back in?
Appreciate that, Chair. I would appreciate that, Chair. Thank you for that. I'm just looking at the likes of, the free National Lifeguard qualification course. That's fantastic to share with our young people. And we actually can't get enough lifeguards in the pool. So if it was a possibility, Gillian, of getting onto that mailing list, that would be very, very useful. Well, I know I would appreciate it anyway. Because that was just one thing that jumped out, but there was quite a lot of other things that's going on there, which I think is fantastic, and I wasn't aware of the half of them. So I'd appreciate that if that's a possibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tinsley, and I agree. I know we talked last week about some of and I know Paul brought us a report last month about all the things that were happening in South Lakes Leisure and across the borough, and it really is phenomenal the work that's going on. That a lot of us passes us by, and we had asked last month for maybe a schedule of what was going on. But Jonathan, do you want to come in here now?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and again, thank you, Councillor Tinsley. And I think it's part of the communication improvement to members that we can look at that schedule and those schedules of events and whatnot. And I can certainly speak to Claire and Comms to see how we can better improve that communication back through to members, maybe on a weekly basis, by adding some of those key programs and opportunities through to members. So again, members can help communicate that out to the wider public. So the more channels we have out into the community, then the better uptake around some of those programs could be. So happy to do that, Chair.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. And Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just from 4.5 on Cafe Incredibles taking up the position in Banbridge Leisure Centre. It's great to see this organisation coming into Banbridge Leisure Centre and the great and meaningful work they do with people with certain disabilities like autism. It's very much welcomed, and it definitely will be a great asset to Banbridge Leisure Centre, so very much welcome. Thank you. That's right.
Yeah, the food is good, isn't it? Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor McNeill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just on 4.4, I just want to congratulate everyone involved in the organisation of the very successful Junior Sports Awards and to all the award winners and nominees on the night. It was a fantastic night for everybody that was there.
Thank you, Councillor McNeill. And did you want to come in again, or just is that? Okay, thank you. Yes, and also if I could mention just the Bushcraft Centre too. You were saying there, all the things in the sports development report, and the activities that are being produced through the initiatives that are being pushed through the Bushcraft Centre. It really is amazing. And all the groups that we are targeting with these initiatives, it's just so impressive. So it is a good news. Whenever we were discussing this in our pre-meeting, it's good news, and it's something more that we should be proud of as a council. So we're happy to note those items. Thank you. So moving on now to agenda item 5, and these are decision items. And Godfrey is going to take us through these. First of all, item 5.1, Godfrey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, the decision in front of you tonight, it's recommended that the Lord Mayor, the Chair and the Vice Chair of Leisure and Community Services Committee or a nominee from the Leisure and Community Services Committee attend the event as council representatives. If I could just say a couple of things about the awards. The IPB Pride of Place Awards are run in association with Cooperation Ireland, and this is their 20th year. And it's really about, it's open to any community organisation which is seen to be making a difference. And we have 3 nominations from the Borough: the Armagh County Show, which is in the Community Tourism Initiative section, the Right Key in Loch Bricklin, which is the Community Wellbeing Initiative, and Craigavon and Banbridge Volunteer Bureau, which is there for the population over 5,000. The gala event will take place in the Clayton Hotel in Dublin on the 21st of January. There are 2 tickets per entry group, and there are 3 tickets for the council. Members, if you'll forgive my maths, you'll see that accommodation is by 8, which it should be by 9. The budget is around £2,000. We will be getting the necessary quotations to ensure that we come in on budget, and that is for transport and accommodation. Members, the recommendation before you is that the Lord Mayor, the Chair and the Vice Chair of the Leisure and Community Services Committee or a nominee from the Leisure and Community Services Committee attend the event as council representatives. Happy to take any questions, Chair.
Thank you, Godfrey. Councillor Tinsley, you had your hand up first.
Chair, thank you, Madam Chair. I was just reading there, the Chief Executive's going, and I always thought in these situations we always sent the Mayor and the Chair of the relevant committee and not the Vice Chair. It was the Vice Chair would attend if the Chair wasn't available to attend. And to me, you know, it's more important that we are getting these tickets out into the community groups, that they're getting the opportunity to bring the people as opposed to all of us going, because, well, I'll not be going anyway, but you know where I'm coming from, that the Chief Executive is going, we've got the Mayor going, and all being well, the Chair. So, I mean, to me, I think that's enough. We don't really need to having the Vice Chair to go. I think that should be going to one of the community groups or someone that has been, maybe even an officer that has been involved in all of this. It's only a suggestion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Tinsley. Do you want to take this, Seamus?
Yes, thank you, Chair. We're really in members' hands here. I mean, we can amend the recommendation to be the Lord Mayor and the Chair of Committee and move forward on that basis.
Chair, if I could just ask Seamus, is the officer that was involved in all of this, will they be in attendance separately to this?
Yes, thank you, Chair. There will be officers attending to help manage the flow of the evening and the night as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy enough.
Chair, just in light of that information, can I recommend then that we just have the Mayor and the Chair of the committee attending? And, well, the Chief Executive's already gone. So, yeah.
Okay. Is that all right to amend that then? I'll take Alderman Spears first.
Chairman, I attended this event last year. It was in, not maybe not last year, it could have been a couple of years ago, because prior to COVID. It was held in Kilkenny. Now, on that particular occasion, my understanding of it was that there was great difficulty in getting the appropriate people to travel to it. I know Councillor Baxter and myself was there, and I'm not really sure who else was at it. But I'm happy enough to, in fact, I would propose the recommendation. I think it's not unreasonable. I don't know who the Vice Chair of the committee is, I haven't a clue. But Vice Chairs don't get many perks So maybe we'll, on this occasion, I'm happy to propose that we accept the recommendation.
And thank you, Alderman Spears. So we have two proposals. Is it worth our while going through to a vote, or how do you feel? Sorry, I'll just turn my microphone on. Okay, Seamus is going to speak to us on this.
Yes, thank you, Chair. It's just really looking at the proposal. It would be maybe good to just double check there's not a consensus way forward on this particular issue. It's really straightforward in terms from an officer perspective. Either there was an ability to get a consensus on the way forward rather than making it.
I take it would be the same number of people going in total because we fill a table. So it's and I think what Councillor Tinsey was saying, that she would prefer to be one of the the partners rather than a member, but that has proven difficult in the past. And maybe bring Alderman Twible in here.
Well, Madam Chair, it was really just a second Alderman Spears' proposal. I mean, I think the recommendation is the correct one.
Thank you. Councillor Tinsley.
Madam Chair, look, I'm not going to fall out over anybody, over a person, but I just feel as if there is there's more people going from the council than there is from the actual community group. I was just giving someone an opportunity that is actually involved. And I know 1 into 3 doesn't go, but sometimes there could have been, someone there in a community group that worked exceptionally hard and was more deserving to go than some of us just to have a wee jolly going down for a meal in the Clinton Hotel in Dublin. And that's all I was coming from. But if it's going to cause an upset or whatever, I will withdraw it. But I just think it's disappointing because this is all about the community and not about us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Tinsley. Alderman Wilson.
Yeah, there's maybe just hearing what Margaret's saying there, I can fully understand her position. There's maybe an option then, if we're proceeding down the road, to also invite the Vice Chair, that you ask the Vice Chair, like in the absence of them not taking up the offer, that perhaps it would go by, some simple method of, offering it to one. I know there's a number of groups with one seat, maybe just a simple, in a hat type thing, and allow somebody to benefit from it. The council is being represented, in a number of elements of this. So, I share those aspirations that, the community would get the most opportunity out of this.
Thank you, Alderman Wilson. Do you want to come in again? Seamus, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just noting members' comments, as the recommendation sits for the Lord Mayor, Chair and Vice Chair or their nominee, should they not be available to go. So it would be a simple amendment to that recommendation to say the Lord Mayor, Chair, Vice Chair, or it would be a community representative if they're unable to attend. If there's consensus.
So thank you, Alderman Spears.
If one looks at the proposal, it says 2 tickets per entry and 3 from council, 3 councillors and the chief executive. That's 10 people, as I understand. Now, if one of those didn't go, what group gets the extra place? Who chooses it? I think I read this. I not be there. I'm not sure whether any of the others that are nominated will be there. We have nominated people, but if we decide to send 2 per entry, that's 6 people, and if we have an extra ticket, I wouldn't like to be the one that would be handing it out to Armagh show or a Banbridge volunteer group or whoever else. It's 2 per group and the rest will be made up from council officials and officers. And I think that's perfectly reasonable, and it's the right approach, rather than doing a favour to one group by giving them an extra ticket. It's not a one, folks. I wouldn't support it.
Thank you, Alderman Spears. Are we happy to proceed with the proposal as it sits, taking cognizance of Councillor Tinsley's comments? We're happy to proceed. Are we all in agreement? Thank you. Wasn't expecting us to speak so long in that one. Back to Godfrey again for decision item 5.2, the commemoration activities to mark the Great Famine. Godfrey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, the decision in front of you is to approve the plan as detailed in the report. There's been quite a few working groups since January around this particular subject and trying to find the best way to commemorate the Great Famine. Just detailed in the report, you'll see in Table 1, it details the elements of the programme that we do have budget provision for, and that's detailed within the budget column. And you'll see in Table 2 that provides information around parts of the programme that will still require officers to find some funding from external agencies. Just if I can run through the programme briefly, we have the Great Famine Lecture Series, which will be starting in January, and that'll be chaired by Dr. Jared McAtasney. And we will be funding that through our Good Relations Action Plan. We then have the commemorative public art piece, and we're funding a piece of that through the Good Relations Action Plan, and that's around the student art competition, which will inform the commissioning of the design, and that'll be done using a panel, which is detailed in the report. The commemorative interpretation panels have already been done, manufactured and paid for, and you'll see the proposed locations, members, in Appendix 1 to 4, which is Portadown's People's Park, Lurgan Park, Solitude Park in Banbridge, and the Palace Domain in Armagh. And then we're going to mark the annual commemoration funded through our annual Good Relations Action Plan with social media, annual tree planting, and an annual lecture series. Table 2 then comes to the actual commissioning and construction and implementation of the public art piece. And we're proposing £35,000 from council reserves, and officers will have to identify external sources of funding to do that. It will be officers' intention to maximise as much public funds as we can through other grant agencies. Members, the recommendation in front of you is to approve the plan that's detailed in the body of report. Madam Chair, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Godfrey. And Councillor McNeill.
Thank you, Godfrey, for that report, and I'm happy to propose that we take that decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McNeill. And we need a seconder. Alderman Twyble.
I'm very happy to second, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Twyble. Yeah, it seems to be accepted by all. Okay, thank you. So moving on now to agenda item 6, correspondence, and there are no items of correspondence that have come in. So I'm now going to seek a proposer and a seconder to go into committee for consideration of the confidential items of business. Alderman Spears proposing and Councillor Tinsley to second that. Okay, so members and online viewers, in accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, exempt information, we will now be moving into confidential section of the council. This means that we will be turning off the public feed of the meeting. This will be returned when the meeting is restarted. Can I ask the ICT officers to please turn off the feed and confirm with me when the confidential section of this meeting can proceed? on so the meeting can proceed again in open session. And thank you. So now on to agenda item 8, and I have received 2 items of any other relevant business. So first of all, Alderman Rankin, if you would take us through the first item, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very briefly, I'm asking that the committee agree to a proposal for officers to go away and bring back a report for the December Leisure Committee, looking into how the feasibility of one of the grass pitches at Dromore Community Centre being used for 3G, and that will involve, first of all, a flood risk assessment. So it's basically for the officers to go away and come back with a report in regards to the process of getting the flood risk assessment carried out to see whether it's feasible for one of those grass pitches at Dromore Community Centre being used at some stage for 3G. So that's basically my proposal in a nutshell at this stage.
At this stage, that's quite a caveat. Thank you, Alderman Rankin. Councillor Moutre.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to second the proposal made by Alderman Rankin. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a proposer and a seconder that that report is brought back to the December committee. We happy enough? All in agreement? Yep. Thank you. So now on to our second item of any other business, and Alderman Barr, you would like to come in?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think is it the one regarding the roller skating that they're taking?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah. So I know that the Christmas roller skating disco was happening in the Banbridge Leisure Centre, and it was widely all the tickets basically went, and I know the council officers put on another couple of afternoon sessions, but I know basically all of them went within the last couple of hours. And I was just wondering, could council look at providing an additional day and evening for those who still are not off work for Christmas? Because I know a few people had commented under my Facebook post earlier that they still aren't able to get tickets. Somebody actually had to go down to the leisure centre to get them because the system wasn't working as well.
Thank you, Alderman Barr. Who's going to take that? Jonathan.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Alderman Barr, in relation to your question. Yeah, and just confirm those went up about an hour or so ago, and there's 22 places left out of the 2 additional slots that we've put on. So look, the officers will take it away and see if there's any additional availability for additional potential slots, our Chair. So yeah, you'll have a look at them.
Thank you. And it's good to know that Banbridge and I coming up. Lurgan used to have a roller disco about 30 years ago whenever I was away. Obviously we are leading the way on things like that, but it's good to see that something is so well subscribed to. So it's good to see. But look, thanks very much, everyone. That's the end of our business tonight, and a safe home. Thank you.